You know, every good thing that you've done, all the good, all the progress, the success, even the friendships, anything that was ever good that happened for you, it doesn't last forever. Maybe a few things could prolong quite long, but nothing lasts forever. There's always going to be the next thing. You're always going to hit the point where there's a new phase, a new adventure in life. And it's time that new phase and that new adventure is going to come. The unknown. But there's big changes coming, bro. Big. And if you look back on your life, sometimes there was changes being made with yourself where you didn't even realize it was happening, but it happened. Because some transitions are not the funnest ones, are not the best ones. Every phase of life is not the best phase that you're going to have. In my life, I've had some very good phases. Even as a kid. And I've had some pretty shitty phases as well. And that's why I'm saying not every phase of your life is going to be a miraculous, fun phase. Some of them are very dreadful, very painful, very unforgiving. And believe it or not, those are some of the best ones for you moving forward. You might not have the most fun, but you learn the most. And by learning the most, you can now have better phases going forward. The next one could be so good. The one after that could be even better. And even better, and even better. And that's kind of how it works. But be prepared, because there's big changes coming. Somebody might be watching this video that have lived a similar life for a little bit. As if you were in junior high in grade 7, 8, 9. I don't know how it works with you guys in your school systems, but for me, where I come from, junior high is grade 7, 8, 9. And then grade 10, 11, 12 is high school. So if you're in junior high for grade 7, 8, 9, it's going to be a pretty similar lifestyle and a pretty similar life for the time being. And when junior high ends and you transition into high school, it's a new phase. Just like however you're living right now. Some days might be different, you do different stuff, sure, but it's similar. That too is going to end. Let's say people was living at home with their parents and all of a sudden they got their own place. That's a new phase. And then they go from that place to a much better place or whatever. That's a new phase. Life changes quite a bit. So there's big things, there's big changes being made going forward. There's a lot to look forward to going forward. I've lived some pretty hard phases and found some fun even in it. Because it's what you have to do, because you're destined to live a certain life. I believe our lives are already planned out. They're already set in stone. It's up to us to capitalize so we keep going down the life and the life path that we're supposed to be on to get to where we're supposed to go. And when you face a lot of hardships and you're in the rocky state of things, and you pull through, and you can smell, you can sense that next phase coming, it could be a very good one. Life is going to change in big, big ways, folks. Big ways. Big ways, big waves. And that's to look forward to. There's going to be a lot of things, bro. A lot of big changes. When I look back at my life, it was so different compared to right now. And right now is going to change into something completely different. It's exciting. It's exciting to have passed certain tests with flying colors. You were supposed to live that phase. You were supposed to go to elementary school. You were supposed to go to junior high. You were supposed to go to high school. You were supposed to live however you lived in whatever life you chose after that. Whether it be college, university, you went into business, you did something, professional sports, whatever, acting, whatever. There's always something else. There's always a new phase. And they're all very different. And a new one is coming. The life you lived for the last while is coming to an end. And you're about to enter a whole new world. A whole new life. A whole new routine. A whole new everything. And I'll tell you what, I can't speak for everybody because I don't know how everybody's life went, but I can speak for me. For the last while, I lived in one of the harder, busier building phases of my life. The grimier, the grittier. And it's going to come to an end. The way I live my life, bro, like, it's not that the grind is going to come to an end, but the way that I moved, the way things were for the last while, it's just going to be a change. The grind is going to continue to the day I die. But it's like that base one phase of kind of a life path you chose. Because when you're in school, you don't really choose school. School chooses you. There's a difference. And I've just been, over the last years, I've been through one of the harder phases that I'm ever going to have to face. And to know the next one is going to be so much more better and blissful is so exciting to me. And I still found enjoyment out of the phase that I was just in. Still. Imagine how good it's going to get. And this video is to bring encouragement for anybody going through the harder phases that you might be going through. Right now it might be tough, it might be gritty, it might be grimy. You might have a lot of uncertainty, you might have a lot of doubts. You don't know what's going to happen. You're grinding, you're digging, you're screaming, you're clawing, you're pushing. You don't know what's going on, but you're doing the work. Embrace it. Embrace that phase of your life and take it head on. It's not going to last forever. It's going to be over in a flick. It might feel long because it's tough, but it's going to be over before you know it. I remember, like it was yesterday, entering the phase that I'm still currently in right now, but I'm like at the end line. It's like if there was like a percentage to where it's done, I'm at like 98, 97, 98%, maybe even 99%. That's how close I am to closing this phase, and I'm finishing strong. When I look back, I've honestly had some amazing times on this run that I've been on. And a new run is about to start. The run don't stop, but a new run is about to start. And this current one that I've been on for the last 4-ish years, 4.5 years. I remember the first day that I started. When you start from 0% and it starts to go up to 1% and you're on that new journey. It's very strange when you start something new at the beginning, because it's not common yet. It's new. It's fresh. You're not used to it. And when I first started on the phase that I'm currently ending, it was unusual. But I got in my groove really fast. It's not easy to have new beginnings. Some things are easier than others. I knew, I knew this last phase that I'm currently on right now, over the last 4.5 years. When I started it, I knew it was going to be a hell of a ride. I knew it. I prepared myself for it, just like I prepared for my surgery recently. I knew it was going to be a hell of a ride. You got to mentally prepare yourself for some shit and go through it. I could have backed out of my surgery. You get a little bit of nerves. Oh, I'm not doing it no more. I don't want to do it. No, you go through it. You feel, you embrace it. Just like I embraced this run I've been on for the last while. You embrace it. Embrace the suck sometimes. Embrace life. Because some people will sit in a damn corner and never embrace what they should have. They keep themselves protected and coddled, and they don't do what they're supposed to do. You have to embrace the suck sometimes. Some people might be in right now the hardest times, the hardest phase of your life. That is up to you to embrace that and to do your best in it. See it, take it as a challenge. Get competitive with yourself. Get competitive with your life. Be smart. Because that's what I did. I fired myself up. I started, things were weird, things were different, it's a new phase, it's unusual, and this is going to get real. I'm going to set myself up real good. I'm going to do whatever I have to do. I'm going full competitive mode in my life. And I'm going to set myself up real good. That's a mindset you have to have. If you have absolutely nothing and you're starting something new, that's the mindset you have to have going into it. You have to be mentally prepared before you even do it. Don't be so clueless. There's some things you're not going to know, but prepare yourself mentally for what you're going to have to put yourself through so you can now reach the best days of your life, because you went through a phase. You did not skip it. You went through it. And now you're going to have the best phases of your life after this one. So those are the things, and this is the advice I would give to everybody. Embrace the suck. Embrace the hard times. Embrace all that you have to go through. And it's going to be worth it. I make it sound so horrific, so bad. It's really not that bad. It's just not the funnest phases. It's one of the harder ones. It's still very doable. It's just going to be harder than others. Mentally. It's not going to mean your life is easy forever. You're still going to have challenges, but there's going to be that one phase, bro, in your life where it's going to last for some years, and it's going to be harder than others. That's what it's going to be. And that, guys, ladies and gentlemen, is what you have to embrace. That exact one. Embrace it. Get at your most competitive, get your most serious, lock in. Become locked and loaded on your life, because your life matters. Your purpose matters. What you do with your life matters. And that this one you have to nail on the head. You got to hit the nail on the top of the head and close that coffin. That's what you have to do. Embrace those hard times. Take it. I did so many things in my journey. I did so many things. If you're feeling some type of way, do something that's going to help you. Go for a walk. I remember in the summer nights on the first year I was at this spot. I'm living alone for the first time in my life. Before that I had roommates. Before that I had people that I was living with. In 2019 was the first year of my life that I lived it alone by myself. And I just remember on summer nights, that summer. And it was some of the best times, bro. I swear to God. It was therapeutic. It was like so blissful. I felt so good. Long summer nights, hot summer nights. Right in the boardwalk with the water, with the moon shining on the water. And I had my flip-flops on, and I got my shorts on, and I'm dressed very proper for the weather. And I just felt so good. I felt so free in the mind. Freer than I've ever been in my entire life. I remember how it felt. And it was incredible. And I just kept putting myself in the right positions, doing the right things, doing the right work, regardless of anything. And it's what you have to do. You got to be mentally smart enough. You got to be mentally sharp enough. You sometimes have to walk alone and do everything you got to do as a man or as a woman. And it takes courage to do it, because you lived your whole life in school. You lived your whole life codependent around people. It's time to boss up and walk alone. And some people's paths will never require this, because some people, after high school, they'll go to college, and then after college they get a job, so they're always around people. But But if you're chosen, it's not going to be that way. You got a bigger purpose. You were meant to thrive on earth. You have gifts that most people don't have. And your life, because of this, your life is going to be more challenging. But the rewards are much higher. They're much greater. And it's going to take you longer. But what you do is going to blow people's minds. Stay sharp. And keep focusing on yourself. Walk alone for as long as you have to walk alone. For me, it was a couple of years and things started to become a little bit more normal. And it's never going to be 100% quote unquote normal, because you're never going to be living in the matrixy world. But sometimes you got to walk alone for a little bit to get your mind right, to get who you are completely straightened out. Who even are you? I would argue when you're in school your whole life and you're distracted all the time, you become more robotic and not who you are. You don't get to know yourself in school. You're so programmed in the mind, you lose who you really are. I stepped back from that and I knew that shit wasn't right. I knew my potential was outside of school, was outside of jobs, was outside of this type of work environment. I knew that's where my real self was, and my best self, and the person I'm supposed to be and become. It wasn't in that bullshit. It was outside of it. That's where my power is. And over the last course of my life, I've found my groove. In this next phase, like I said, I can't speak for anybody else, but I hope this is inspiring and motivating a lot of you. My next phase is going to be stellar. And I can't wait to get it going. Things won't be perfect right away. I got some adjusting to do, but I'm looking forward to the next challenges ahead. And the things that are going to blossom in my life. Because a lot of things is finna blossom. And I'm looking forward to it.